Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Shirk, your host of Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining us today from Milwaukee, Wisconsin is Calyn Walker with Practically Perfect. Calyn, thanks so much for joining us today on Digital Champions.
Thank you so much for having me, Charlene. I'm happy to be here.
So tell us what you're making perfect over there.
So we work with small to medium-sized businesses that really want to understand the value that they add to their customers. So we really try to dig in deep and understand how they add value instead of telling their story. It's how do you solve the problems that your customers are looking to solve, and then creating the messaging around that so that they answer the right question, provide the right information at the right time and in the right way.
And how do you create a story around that pain point of making sure that you're telling the client or their customers, hey, here's your problem and here's how we're going to solve it for you?
Right. So we do a lot of, I like to understand the entire business and understand who their ideal clients are and actually have conversations with their customers, their current customers or potential customers, and understand what is it that your job or what are you trying to solve in your world? Because everybody has something that's like, God, if I only had this solution, it would save me time, money, or a lot of headache. And so if you can talk to that person specifically about what they're looking for at that time, the sale is so much easier, the story is so much easier, and your clients have, and my clients have more success when that connection is made.
It's so funny you say that. I met one of our local city councilmen, and he introduced himself, and he said, I'm your city councilman. What problem can I solve for you? And I thought, what a great way to just cut to the chase and immediately kind of get to the heart of whatever conversation he knows I want to have with him. I think that's a great strategy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's really just understanding who your customers are and how you add value into their world and make it completely about them. And then our niche is finding the technology tools to deliver that message, whether it's a CRM system or a marketing system or any of the digital platforms. It's how do we best tell that story and what platforms do we use for that?
And that is a great segue into my next question. The one constant about digital marketing is that it is ever evolving. So in trying to determine what are the best technological tools to use to get those message across, what do you got your eye on that's coming up in the next, I always like to ask year to 2 years, but heck, sometimes it's 6 months.
Right. Yeah. I always say to my clients, as soon as they figure it out, or as soon as we figure it out, they change it, seems to be the trend. So for me, I think a lot of it is personalized individual marketing when you can speak directly to a prospect via a digital channel. Send them an email that is templatized but can really personalize a piece of it or individual areas. And then also video. So I use video messaging in all of my outreach for my business. I send a quick video, just cutting through the noise a little bit. Almost all of my clients utilize that. And we repurpose those videos for LinkedIn or and just people hear your voice, see you're a real person, not just a brand. I think those are the two things that I've seen the biggest success in as a differentiator, and I don't see going away anytime soon.
And so let me kind of switch gears and ask you, in terms of, being a marketer, what is the biggest obstacle you find in becoming successful and staying successful?
Whew, that's a really good question. I think that the number one thing about being a marketer in this world is that it's really easy to go to the bright, shiny light, right? The next new thing, jump on this bandwagon, run to this activity or run to this new platform and throw all your eggs in one basket. And really what I think we need to get back to is that art of truly telling your story, understanding the value that you add, and finding the right platforms to do that, and not necessarily jumping on the next trend or the next thing. It's staying the course and staying steady. And if the trend fits in your plan and is where your audience is absorbing information, even better. But if not, staying that course and not just jumping from trend to trend and wasting dollars is the biggest obstacle that I face with convincing clients to not necessarily jump ship and try something new.
That's a great answer. So before we let you go, tell me what's your best tip that you would give. I corner you at a cocktail party, you tell me what you do, and I'm like, oh, girl, give me your best tip. What would it be?
So the biggest tip that I give, and the first thing that I always say, it's my free nugget of advice, is that if you're posting online anywhere, you should be posting to your Google My Business profile. I've seen it change businesses, the trajectory of businesses, and utilizing it to tell Google that this is the content that you would like them to see. And also make sure that your marketing has a little bit of fun in it. Make sure that it tells who you are and makes other people smile.
That was a platinum nugget. I'm telling you, Calyn, that was great advice.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time to join us and share all of your insight on digital champions today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it is our pleasure. And if you'd like to learn more about what Calyn's doing over there at Practically Perfect, you can start by checking her out on dailyadbrief.com. Well, I'm Charlene Shirk. That's going to do it for this episode of Digital Champions, and we look forward to learning something new with you next time.